Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make albondigas. So this is my fiance's all-time favorite comfort food from being a kid. So one day after work I ran to the store, I got myself some sushi and got him all of the ingredients so I could surprise him with some albondigas for dinner. Alright, so we're going to get started by chopping up half of an onion. We've also just plopped a full-on onion into the soup, and it's kind of like a boiled onion at the end if you want it that way. Just depends on how you want to eat your onion. This time we're putting it in minced like this. We're also going to add in olive oil, garlic, and some chipotle chilies. Adding the chipotle chilies really deepens that flavor, and it's a really good addition. We're also going to add in 2 small cans of tomato sauce and then a ton of water. So I actually measured it out, but you can really just eyeball this. Just keep in mind that we have quite a few ingredients to still add, so the water will rise quite a bit. Next, we're going to add in one of those better than bouillons, and now we're going to get started on the meatballs. So we're going to start by having a pound of meat, and then eyeball how much rice you want. You can put in however much rice you want. It's up to your preference. I just threw a couple handfuls in there and cracked an egg. So for every pound of meat, you want to have 1 egg. So if you wanted to double the amount of meatballs, you could have 2 pounds of meat with 2 cracked eggs in there. And once you're done, this is what your meatballs are going to be looking like. And here's what our soup looks like. So I'm just going to add a little cumin, salt, pepper into the mixture. And I'm going to get started on our vegetables. So we're going to add some carrots and potatoes to our soup. So I'm just peeling all of those and going to chop them up with a rough chop and add them to the broth so they can start to kind of get soft in there. And we're going to add the vegetables first and then follow that up by adding in all of the meatballs. So I probably did this a little bit out of order, but we're just going to roll with it. Then my fiance got home and I got to tell him I was surprising him with soup, and he was super happy. So he was watching over the broth there while I was finishing up with all the vegetables. So here's our rough chop of potatoes that's going to go on in. And then I'm going to do a rough chop of all of the carrots and throw that in as well. See, it's not super small, just really rough chops here. And for the rest of the clip, I'm pretty much just telling my fiance about how my day was while I continue to chop because I added a ton of vegetables to the broth this time. And then I'm going to come in with, I was using a 1/4 measuring cup and I added a 1/2 cup of rice. But again, eyeball this and then add your meatballs to the mixture. And you just want to let that bubble up. You'll see when the meatballs are ready, then all of the rest of your soup is ready. So just cut into a meatball to make sure it's all good to go. And then there you have your